Introducing Ivotion Digital Dentures from Ivoclar. Experience unparalleled precision and efficiency with Ivoclar's state-of-the-art digital denture workflow.
Ivotion is available in their patent-pending monolithic disc that combines denture base and tooth materials in one seamless puck.
Ivotion is also available as standalone discs, Ivotion base, dent, and dent multi, that all in a 98mm width to fit your favorite milling machine.
With Ivotion, you can streamline your lab's processes, reduce production time, and enhance your patient satisfaction.
These things look amazing. Elevate your lab's capabilities with Ivotion Digital Denture, where innovation meets perfection. Discover the future of dentures today with Ivoclar. And as always, we thank you for your continued support of the podcast. Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 337 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
And my name is Barbara.
Barb, who's still on vacation. Look at the sacrifice you're doing for us.
It's my last day. I'm so sad, but it's been unbelievable. Super, super great. Awesome. We saw so many elk, Elvis. Baby elk, big giant daddy elks, mom elks, deer. Ugh, it was awesome. Super, super awesome.
Any more amazing fishing catches? Did you catch a whale or something?
Nope, just one fishing excursion and then on to other things. We caught a bunch of little crappies, if you know what those are. I don't.
Crappies?
They're lake fish. At least 25 of those, but yeah, super fun. I'm going back to Florida.
Do you eat crap?
Crap. Most people fish fry them, yes, but you need like 20 of them because they're little. But yeah. And how are you?
Crappy dinner. I'm good. Having a great week. Super busy. I'm to that point in Indiana where you wake up and it's 30 and then it's 80 by the afternoon.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, I used to wake up and want to run before it gets too hot, and now I have to wait to run before it gets warmer. So
Gotcha.
It's confusing.
Well, at least you can run.
Absolutely. So I know you're actually headed to the airport.
Yep.
So let's talk about what we're doing next weekend, because Barb was just on vacation, and now you have to travel again.
You know it.
Because we're heading to Fort Worth, Texas for the annual Race for the Future Triathlon on September 15th. So we want to just thank everyone who donated money to either Barb or my team, the Abutments, or any of the amazing racers that are joining us on Sunday. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see everybody.
It's going to be epic. Yes, sir.
But there's still time to donate. Actually, you can donate to this cause all year long. But we like to make it special for the race.
Oh, you guys are all over Facebook. Like, if you can't find the Abutments on Facebook, you ain't on Facebook.
Good point. If you want to donate to the Abutments, the easiest way is to head over to Facebook in general. As Barb said, you can find us everywhere. Or you can go to dentallabfoundation.org, select the donate now, and then enter the racer's name. So if you want to donate to Barb, great way to do that. And just remember that all the money goes towards this wonderful industry and everybody that's in it.
And another way to donate is to get one of our brand new shirts celebrating both dentures and implants. Guys, it's the last week to order. No complaining. So before September 15th, 2024, head over to voicesfromthebench.com/shirts, and you can get the fan favorite Just Say No to Brushing, which was an idea from Brittany Mitchell, who also provided the denture on the shirt. The other shirt is a personal favorite. I love it. It says, "Don't pull out." And if you do, put an implant in it, featuring amazing artwork of an implant and an abutment by this week's guests, Charlie Barbour and CIMB Design. Last chance this week. Also ships internationally, guys. voicesfromthebench.com/shirts.
As we just mentioned, this week we get to meet Charlie Barbour from the UK. Charlie comes on the podcast to talk about how through an engineering program, he found the dental lab industry. Getting hired at Bristol Crown, a lab-to-lab milling center for the ALS Dental Group, he started there by loading mills and scanning models. And it was interesting that he noticed how many of the crowns kind of looked the same. Pushing himself to learn, Charlie was soon designing crowns in Exocad, and he even started making teeth libraries for other labs in the ALS group.
Brilliant.
Going back to lab school, he had an assignment of drawing crowns, and a new passion started. Now Charlie's taken his art to the next level by creating detailed and brightly colored pieces that include not only crowns, but implants, abutments, full arches, dentures, and so much more. Now, he states during this conversation that the prints are not available anywhere but the UK, but we're happy to say that he has opened a new shop that now ships worldwide.
Sweet.
And once you see these, you will want to get a few to upgrade your lab, or your home, or your office. So find a link on this episode's show notes to get yourself some of his art. But first, join us as we chat with Charlie Barbour. Voices from the Bench. The interview. Barb and I are super excited to welcome all the way from the UK, Charlie Barbour. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much for having me on. It's a bit surreal, to be honest. I feel like I'm in the presence of royalty.
Oh, no.
I feel that way with your accent. I love
Stop.
Elvis knows I love an accent.
They do well on a podcast.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, I can't even remember. You reached out to us because you're doing some cool things with dental art.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. It's really neat what you're doing. But before we get into that, you obviously didn't just wake up one day and decide I want to draw teeth.
No, definitely not.
How did you get into our industry?
So, I wasn't great in school, I'll be honest. I sort of came out of it not knowing where I was going.
Yeah.
Originally I wanted to be a pilot, for instance, and then
Yeah.
that didn't quite cut it. So then I was going to try to do radiotherapy, but I didn't have the grades, so I had to go a weird way.
What the hell is radiotherapy?
Oh, like cancer treatment in hospitals.
Oh. I was thinking like audio radio. And I was like, weird.
Of course you were.
Yeah, going to disc jockey.
Radio therapists. Yeah, I know.
I can see the link.
Yeah.
I went to do that, but it was like I got placement in a care home for a year, so I fell out of that pretty quick, and then I went straight into art and design.
Yeah.
I studied that at college for 2 years. I came out of that. I went to go to university, and I quit on the first day. It was going to be another 3 years of drawing classes, and I just couldn't stomach it.
Wow.
So then I went to a engineering apprenticeship centre in Bristol, and that was it. They said there's this place that makes crowns, and originally I thought, oh, making crowns for the royal family.
So engineering, you got into engineering first.
Well, that was it. It was they sort of tenuously linked it to an engineering course, but then when we got on it, I was sort of had 1 day release to go to the college, and it was using manual milling machines and making precision metal parts, and it just didn't line up.
It wasn't jamming.
No, they pulled me off it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I was just in the lab full time and never looked back.
So they put you in the lab. So where did you start in the lab?
I work in Bristol Crown in Bristol. So we are an outsourced milling centre. So it's a bit different to a conventional lab. I started off in the milling room. I was running milling machines and just scanning models in for the designers.
So you probably loved that engineering part of your brain, probably totally jazzed on that, right?
Yeah, that's it. And I could see, from my art and design, I just love making things, whether with hands or digitally. And I could see the scope for it, but I couldn't touch it yet because I knew nothing, couldn't do it. I bided my time, and we got there eventually.
When you showed up at this milling center, this was your first introduction into teeth?
Yeah, 100%. I knew absolutely nothing. couple online courses, but I just couldn't get enough of it. I just spent all my spare time looking into it, learning about it, practicing it.
That's crazy because Elvis and I talk to a lot of people, and most technicians that become technicians know a family member or a
Hmm.
dentist or something,
Yeah,
but you basically literally just stumbled into it.
exactly. Yeah, fell into the right place at the right time.
I'll
So,
say.
all my family are. Dad was a graphic designer. My mum was garden designer, graphic designer, and then my brother's a graphic designer now. So I'm the one that went astray.
The black
You're the
sheep.
one having the
Yeah,
Imagine
most
that.
fun.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
So when you walked into this place, what did you think? It's a whole new concept for you, right?
Yeah, it was overwhelming, to be honest. I'd never
I
even
bet.
thought of that side of the industry. Like, I'm sure you probably hear it all the time that you think the dentist makes the teeth in the back, but
Sure.
it
Yep.
was just a whole new concept to me.
And the first thing they did is put you on mills.
Yeah, so that was nice. I got to see straight into the technology side of it.
What were you guys milling at the time?
There was zirconia. We didn't get a wet mill till, God, end of COVID.
So you got to look at the designs and you got to see the shapes and you got to look at the anatomy and all the morphology and all of that
Exactly.
stuff. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I spent all day just looking at teeth. But then I noticed the correlation, different labs sending designs that look exactly the same. So I thought, why is that? So it's like everyone's using the same Exocad tooth library. So that made me want to look into it more and see how that could be improved.
Interesting. And at this point, you have not designed anything.
No, the most I'd done is God bless my mentor Marcello at Bristol Crown. He'd let me design the odd one, but he'd pretty much look at it and go, oh God, just
What was that?
delete it and start again.
That's not
So
going to work.
he's pushed me the right direction.
We've talked to a lot of people in Europe, and a lot of labs use milling centers. Was your
Hmm.
milling center mostly for labs, or did you do dentist work too?
Yeah, we were strictly lab to lab.
Okay.
It was originally a full service dental lab, but they transitioned to the owner at the time, Tim Brothers, and my current boss, Nicky Lees. They sectioned off. They went to selling materials, dry goods, milling machines, scanners, and then they just did outsourced design work on our side and completely cut the dentists out of the equation and just
Yeah.
did lab to lab.
I'll tell you, there's an appeal to that.
Having dealt with a couple over my years, I'm glad we do, to be honest.
Yeah.
No offense to any dentists listening,
No,
obviously.
I
For sure.
totally get it. Sometimes I'd love just to talk to lab people and not
Hmm.
dentists.
Yeah.
So how long were you milling and doing that part of it before they let you actually step outside the box a little bit and move forward?
So I was doing it for maybe a year and a half, and
Mhm.
then a colleague went on maternity leave, and I got the opportunity to go and do the trimming of hard state, soft stage zirconia, trimming all the cases in to get out the door. So
Yep.
that sort of showed me another side of it. So then I could see how it all works. I could see the teeth and the model function of it. So I think that helped me see that side. So then when I did get the chance to go and design, I think I was maybe trimming for a couple of years, and then sort of scanning design in between just to fill the gaps.
Yeah. So you were adjusting zirconia after centering.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
where we left the contact point slightly proud, just to.
Sure, absolutely. That does make you a better designer when you finally
Hell
get to
yeah.
design.
Yep.
I felt like I knew how it worked beginning and end, so I could do
Yeah.
the in between bits well.
Yep.
And you mentioned Exocad. So what, they let you design on Exocad, or
Yeah,
how
yeah.
was that?
It was tough at the start. I wish I had some pictures of my first anterior bridge, but I'd probably throw up looking at it now.
Yeah.
Be honest, I loved it.
Who taught you Exocad?
I was taught in the lab by, as I mentioned before, Marcello,
Okay.
a brilliant guy called Ben, and then past that, trial and error, what works, what doesn't work, and I honestly I don't know how much of my spare time I've spent into just free forming.
Sure.
Well, I'm looking at your Instagram and your shapes are pretty
Mm,
freaking beautiful.
thank you, I appreciate it.
They're not all the same, just like you said.
Hmm.
I mean, you can definitely see where you took that knowledge and everything you do is a little bit different. I
Yeah,
love them.
I said I started. So you can make your own tooth libraries I sort of get client-specific thing. I know stuff they'd want adjusting every time when we sent something for approval.
Mm-hmm.
So I make libraries orientated around their needs, and it just made the workflow so much easier.
That's pretty awesome.
Explain that to me, making your own tooth libraries. Like you would do it for each individual case?
I know for each client, say, I think I've got 5 or 6 on the go at the minute.
Yeah.
Like we've got one that does cosmetic veneer makeovers. They want it all flat, straight. So I've got one that's pretty square, nice trapezoidal shape to it.
How do you know to make it for each client? Like you have conversations with them, and
over time they'll always ask to adjust the same sort of things.
Yeah.
So I'll make the teeth already set up in that way, so I can just set them, adapt to the margins, and then it's already how they want it.
So
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, after like the 5th time, they say,
round that corner,
round square it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm tired of changing. I'm just gonna make it.
Yeah, like I want my upper 4 palatal cusps slightly twisted mesially. So I was tired of making the change, so I just changed the library from the start.
Is that hard to do in Exocad? I've never explored it that much.
Honestly, it's not. It's just you freeform the teeth, you load them into sort of a back end of Exocad, and then you can segment the tooth model into different cusps, control points. You just load it in, and you're good to go.
Do you have to design each tooth?
So you do one side of the arch, and then it mirrors it. So it's not a huge task.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But I just started doing them for. Have you heard of ALS?
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 ALS, no.
Yeah, we got bought out by a dental company, and we've just started doing sort of. Oh, you can't see my air quotations, but high-end tooth libraries for denture design for the full denture workflow, partial dentures, and crown and bridge.
Oh, so you're designing denture teeth now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very interesting.
How did you learn all of this so quickly? I mean, I know you had the one gentleman that was teaching you, but you had to have spent a fair amount of time exploring different types of shapes and line angles and anatomy, and just like, how do you learn all that so quickly?
That's a lot of spare time gone to the wind. Yeah, luckily they were a big stickler for books in our lab, so we've got a lot of anatomy books.
There you go.
Great mentors in other places. Carl Deacon, he's been a great mentor to me.
And probably a lot of trial and error.
Yes, yeah. That's it. I'm sat there at a PC all day just designing. A lot of my weekends have been sucked into just playing around.
Yeah.
I would say it's become an obsession at this point.
What's your favorite tooth if you had to choose? Like the anteriors, or do you like the posteriors?
If you had asked my favorite case would be 3-3 upper anterior, but I do love an upper 6.
I can tell. Yeah. So is it like the line angles or the corners? And it's pretty fascinating. I'm looking at your pictures. They're pretty freaking sweet.
Thank you.
I want you to design my work.
When did you get into the art? Let's start talking about when you decided to say, hey, let's
draw some teeth.
Yeah, there's cool stuff that we could be hanging up on walls.
Yeah. I just, as I said, I spend so much time looking at stuff, and you look through all these quintessence books, and they're all like black and white sort of dull images.
Yeah.
And I just finished the last year of my dental technology degree, and we had a homework task.
So you did get a degree in dental technology. Did I miss that?
No, I didn't mention it, to be honest. I graduated last Tuesday.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, you gotta back up. How the hell did you know you wanted to go back to school when you hated school?
My boss just asked, do you want to do it? And I thought, yeah, why not? Let's do it as part-time alongside working. It was 1 day a week, so I thought, let's do it.
Oh, I didn't know they even had a part-time option to get your degree.
Yeah, it's over 3 years.
1 day a week for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Wow. It was pretty relaxed, to be honest.
Yeah. Was it like at night?
No, it was so it would be 1 day a week. I'd have 2 lectures, which would take up half the day, and that was it. We'd have a couple practical modules to do in sort of parts of the year.
How easy was it for you at this point? You must have been pretty breezy for at least fixed for you.
Yeah, fixed stuff was lovely. It was removable stuff, because obviously we were outsourced. We don't have all the means to cast, flask and pack dentures, so I had to sort of outsource it all and go out to another lab and do the work.
I was gonna say, did it outsource to your milling center and you got to do your own work?
No, that's it. All of it was quite archaic. They might, if they're listening, they might not like me saying that.
It's school. I mean,
Yeah.
every industry's like that in school.
Yeah. So everything had to be cast.
That's
so we didn't get to use much of it, to be honest. And our CAD/CAM module was a literature review.
Really? How were you at waxing? I mean, talk about, you went from design back to wax.
Yeah, yeah. So I knew the shape, so I knew the fundamentals, but performing it was a different matter entirely.
Yeah.
I know, gone are the days of clicking back when you mess something up. You gotta carve it off and reapply it.
Yeah. But seriously, was the school pretty easy, or was there any challenge to you?
The practical work was quite a challenge away from Crown and Bridge.
Yeah.
I really struggled with ortho.
Bending wire.
Yeah. That was really hard for me. I had a couple bad dentures where I had teeth floating in acrylic, but we won't go there.
It's fine.
Let's just say it happens to everyone.
Well, you know what you don't want to do when you get done with school. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it definitely made me realize I was in the right sector.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly. Did they have any design software at the school?
We didn't do much. That's what, well, my statement is saying it was a bit archaic. I know they've changed it now. The years coming through now are doing a lot more design. But
you just graduated on Tuesday. What do you mean?
Yeah, I've heard what the people are doing. I've got a couple of people in our dental group are now doing the course, so I know they've used Exocad, they've milled crowns.
Wow! So they waited till you graduated on Tuesday to introduce CAD.
Yeah, I should go back, shouldn't I?
You should go back and teach.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Honestly,
was there a final test?
No, so we sort of, the way it's structured, we'll have, say, one practical module, one theoretical module.
Mm-hmm.
The run up to Christmas, we'd have the practical theory, we'd have an exam after Christmas, and then same up to summer.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to do a thesis or anything because it was part-time.
I can't even believe they have a 3-year, 1-day-a-week degree.
Yeah.
And your boss, and he was totally for it?
Yeah, she was more than happy to let me go.
Wow.
Well, saying that, it was all remote as well, apart from one day of the year, which makes it even more bizarre.
This would be great in America, Barbara.
Yeah.
I would totally do it.
You would?
I would. 1 day a week. Yeah. Can people from America go to this school if it's all remote?
I don't actually know, to be honest. Like we had people in Ireland, which was a separate island to where we were.
Yeah.
So they fly over for 1 day of the year.
I would totally do this. I'm going to do it. What's the name of the school?
It was Cardiff Metropolitan University.
All right, I'm looking into it.
I should state it's a foundation degree.
Meaning what?
So I can still register with the GDC in the UK, but it's not a full bachelor's.
Okay, sure.
Okay, that makes sense.
But do you need this degree in order to, be a true dental technician?
To sign out work. Then I can, when I get my registration, hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll be able to put dental technician on my LinkedIn profile rather than CAD/CAM technician.
So there is a final test to be registered after this. Do you have to go to school to take the test, or?
Oh no, I just send the qualification and a passport photo.
And of course, some money, probably.
Yeah.
Because
that's
what it's all
about.
Yeah,
it goes without saying.
Yeah.
Once you get that degree and once you get all of that, in the UK, can you make more money per unit, or is it just prestige and for yourself? Like, do labs pay more?
Yeah, I think hand in hand, you do get that slight pay increase.
Nice.
To be honest, what I've seen is the pay scale sort of vary on ability.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the lab owner will hear this and give you a pay increase.
Let's keep those fingers crossed.
Well, congratulations. I had no idea this was like Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're fresh out of school.
Yeah.
Even though you've been doing it for a few years.
Yeah, that's it. 9 years in and I'm qualified.
That's sweet.
Is it common over there that people are in the industry for a while, then go back, or is it mostly school and then into the industry?
Yeah, I've sort of done it backwards, to be honest. I was probably considered
yeah.
a mature student.
Were you the oldest one online?
I think bar a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really like the fact that, it took you 2 or 3 times of going to school to figure out what you really were passionate about. And when you made the
Yeah.
commitment to do it, and 3 years is a long time, like that's no joke. But I mean, you did it. It's like really
Mhm.
cool where you actually find something you're passionate about and you make it work.
Definitely.
So now I'm curious. So now you've got your degree. Are you still in the same lab that you were in when you started?
Yeah, still in the same lab.
So what's your day look like? Like, do you get set up where you know exactly what you've got to do per day, like unit wise or case wise? How does that work?
We have a 2-day turnaround on cases.
Whoa.
So it's sort of it's every day's different. You don't know what's coming in the door because we're outsourced. It could be anything.
But you're pretty much, you can do dentures, you can do veneers, you can do crowns. Can you do hybrids and bars and?
So we don't touch any denture design at the minute. I think that's coming in the future. But yeah, I mainly handle full arch restoration cases, all on fours, and anything particularly complex.
So it comes into your lab, you do the designs, and you guys mill it and center it and send it back?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, send it back unfinished so they can make it all pretty. Send it off to the dentist.
Do you communicate with everybody on the designs? Do you guys send pictures back and forth? The reason I'm asking is that I'm finding in my business a lot more dentists want to see their designs and approve them, or are you just kind of doing your thing and sending it?
Yeah, bar single crowns,
Yeah.
bit of a waste of time.
Yeah.
But anything maybe bigger than 6-unit span,
Yep.
you can send the Exocad web link so they can open it up and have a look. And then yes, open communication, clear dialogue from there. Any adjustments will go back and forth until it's how they want it.
I think that's so seamless, though, rather than just do what you think is perfect, and then in their mind they're seeing something different.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
be able to collaborate that way back and forth. I mean, I feel like it's making the cases more successful the first time.
Yeah. So everything's so subjective. Everyone's got something in the head of how they want the case.
Yep.
We're just the middle point to make that happen.
Yeah, I noticed your laterals, or you really, have a pretty shaped lateral. I always, you like that, right?
Yeah, that's been instilled in me from Tim, who owns Bristol Crown. He loves a lateral.
Yeah, I feel like that really can change the whole personality of the smile.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's cool. Do you ever want to get in there and jump in the ceramic part of it or glaze, or do you ever get to do that part of it?
No, that's it. We don't do any of that. I have really wanted to get into doing a bit of ceramics. The color theory scares me a little bit.
What is that? What do you mean the color?
Like matching current dentition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just get yourself a kit, and next time the mill does it wrong,
Build it
take it home and practice, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you need an oven. Oh yeah, you need that too.
That's it. Yeah, we're a bit. Our ovens maybe 20 years ago.
Oh really? Oh yeah, from when it was a full service back in the day.
A vintage bit of kit.
So you said you were going to get into dentures. Is it getting bigger in the UK doing the digital dentures yet?
So our dental group is really pushing into digital dentures, which is why we've done the tooth library.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to standardize it across the group. But yeah, I think they're going to move some production into our lab over the coming year.
Yeah, are you going to print them or mill them, or is that not?
Yeah, they're it's all printed.
Nice.
I think we've just got a Stratasys printer they're testing, which should be interesting.
Yeah, those are cool. The multicolored and one print. That's where it's at, I think.
There was some talk of a multi-layered tooth library, which will print in various translucencies, which I'm quite excited about if we do get our hands on that. Yeah.
Be able to really dive into doing some good designs when you get to do dentures.
Yeah, you can make something super realistic. It sounds sad, but it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not sad, I don't think. I mean, you get excited about these things.
Yeah.
How many labs are in you guys' network?
I I wouldn't quote me on it. I think we're about 34 at the minute.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Are they all, they're not all milling centers, are they?
No, there's a wide breadth. We've got every aspect of dentistry.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think they're just working on moving into Europe now and branching out.
Did we talk to them, Elvis, at Exocad?
I don't know. What's the group called?
It's ALS Dental.
I don't think we did, no.
It's pretty
I
awesome.
think we've ever had that come up on the podcast. You're the first, Charlie.
Hey, we're on the rise.
Right before we found out you just graduated, we were talking about this art that you do. And what really drew our attention to talking to you, because it's cool and just different and beautiful. So what made you get into this?
Yeah, so we, on our last year for Crown and Bridge, we were given homework to go and draw something.
Yep.
And that was it. I'd switch back to art and design. I'm a little bit dyslexic, so when I looking through all these old books, there's an absolute sea of text and not a lot of images, and I love looking at the pictures. So I wanted to make a bold image which just encapsulated the tooth. Not a lot of colors. For instance, I got 3 colors, which is just low, medium, high value color for shadows and highlights. I just wanted to make the form clear cut, a little bit of information annotated, just so it's clear and easy to read.
This was a homework assignment? Am I understanding this?
Yeah, it spurred it on. I did the drawing, and then after that, I just found my spare time was just doodling on the iPad, and it sort of grew into what I've been posting today.
Obviously, you just do more than just crowns. There's quite a bit. What started, and how did you get into all the other stuff?
I was just sort of seeing where it went, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd started with just single teeth, then I did a collection of just, say, posterior teeth. And then I thought, well, while I was looking into the drawings, I was also looking at all the research documents, and I thought, we can do this a bit better as well. So I just started, I went into more of the educational side of it, where it was labeling tooth anatomy, for instance. And then I expanded it from that to, and then I looked at it from a clinical standpoint, like what would they want to see? I was just sort of moving with it.
And it was all done in your free time. There was never an aspect of putting this out there, right?
No, I was just sort of posting it, and it got some traction. I did have a website orientated around tooth library sales, so I completely redid it and just aimed it at shipping prints.
So what do? You create the art and then they print it? Help me understand it.
Yeah, I create the art and then I print them and ship them out when they buy them.
And then they're like framing them?
Yeah, so I had some examples of pictures of frames, so when they bought them I can send them the link for the frame. Because as I was saying to Elvis before, I didn't want to ship glass because it's a nightmare. Yeah. But I wanted the glass. People say, well, just ship Pyrex or plastic, but it's just the quality of the item wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So people are buying this stuff. That's great.
And who's buying these prints?
At the minute, I've had just labs mainly. I know ALS want to distribute them within the group to have sort of educational stuff on the walls.
I like the educational part of it. I love it when it's labeled and you can learn and it looks cool all at the same time. I love it.
Yeah, like I had a picture sent from someone that said we need to replace what we've got. The images they had on the wall were awful. It was just like stock flower images, and I thought, yeah, we can do better than that.
How much? Well, I was going to say how much you charge. I won't ask you that, but how did you come up with a price tag to sell this stuff?
I just factored in my time, but I will say I'm going back on everything now. I'm going to be completely outsourcing print design. I need to restructure the site, and I'll be sourcing it all externally, so we'll have a lower price point, and we'll be shipping worldwide instead.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, so right now, only listeners in the UK can order this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, well, on the episode show notes, we'll have a link, but it's cimbdesign.co.uk.
Yeah, that's it.
And checking out this website, what I like about it, honestly, is I mean, not only is there like a tooth and it looks absolutely amazing, but you got like great colors in the background that really make it pop.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of labs could see this and be like, this would be cool hanging up in the lab, especially that area where maybe patients come for a custom shade or just like that entry area. This is some really cool stuff.
That's it. I've tried to put them up in the house, but the missus wouldn't have it. So.
I don't think my wife would let me either.
That's kind of like a deer head. No.
We settled on one right at the top of the ceiling above a door that no one can see.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm nerding out over the implant parts. I love the cool abutments.
So I talked to Straumann at the DTS, and they were all right with me using some of their components.
Is that what it is? I was wondering what connection that is on there. That's Straumann.
Yeah, so I got the Straumann RBWB, which I love doing it, trying to get the shiny metal effect on it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I'm looking at them right now, so I'm feeling you. They are pretty sweet.
I mean, couldn't you just see these all like down the hall into a lab, just lined up and just...
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the color is, I think, what sells it, because most dental anatomy pictures, I'm looking at the PTC thing I have hanging up. It's black, it's white, it's dark blue. It's just, I mean, it's used...
Sinks into the background, doesn't it?
So how much of your spare time is spent doing the prints? How the hell? What? Were you up all night?
So I'm lucky. It takes me, depending on the piece, to be honest, it can take quite a while to draw them. But I'm lucky. My dad, being a graphic designer, they have quite high quality printers. So I've
family connection.
Yeah, that's it. Get him to print, I pick them up and ship them out.
Wow. So what do you do? Like lay in bed and think, okay, my next tooth is going to be this.
I just sort of start doodling. And whatever comes to mind. It'd be something I do in the lab in the day, and I could take a screenshot of it and just recreate it.
What software do you use to draw?
It's just Procreate on the iPad.
Oh. Is that a common software?
Yeah, it comes pre-installed on it.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Wow.
Elvis is going to start drawing.
Yeah, get on it.
I can't draw. I cannot draw worth a damn. Do you do commissions?
I've done a couple. If you're on my Instagram, I did one for, as I mentioned before, Carl Deacon works at a dental hospital in the UK.
Yeah.
I did a commission piece which copied the same color as all their benches as the background.
Oh, neat.
And then at the top I had like Charles Clifford Dental Hospital, for instance.
I see it, yeah. Oh, cool. He did like a 3-unit bridge on implant.
Yeah.
I think if a lab had work they were proud of, to get you to do a version of it would be cool.
Yeah. I've not had too much interest on that side of it, so it's I'm open to it.
Yeah. The only thing I would see is you did maxillary full arch. You'd have to get our tooth numbering in there. It's confusing to me looking at
Oh yeah. yeah. I'm with you.
But you could probably, since it's digital, just kind of go in and tweak it and change it.
Yeah, so I did everything as individual assets, so it's just a matter of turning it off and putting the American version on.
Yeah, very cool.
So it's easy to adapt. Backgrounds can be changed. Logos can be added.
Sure.
So what's next for you? What else are you going to get into?
Yeah.
And away from drawings.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, anything.
So as I said, we've been doing the tooth libraries.
Yeah.
At the minute, I've sort of hyper fixated on that. I've been putting loads of time into practicing anatomy, looking at different books and just getting ideas.
How about sharing the tooth libraries with other people? Is that an option, or?
At the minute, it's within the group.
Yep.
So I've been working closely with other technicians in other labs, which has been really nice to get a fresh perspective.
Have you ever thought about becoming a teacher? Like, part-time, of course, like teaching those in the other labs you guys are affiliated with? It sounds like you kind of are. Like a lecturer?
I haven't, to be honest. I've done a couple of instructional Exocad videos for our online training portal.
Well, there you go.
But I've never thought about it, to be honest.
It sounds like you've got a knack for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I might give it a crack.
It sounds like you'd be great at teaching anatomy and morphology, honestly. I mean,
yeah, that'd be the
these
dream.
are some intense drawings that you're doing. I took a posterior anatomy course, and while the names are still familiar to me, I don't think I could draw like this.
That's it. The main thing that took off was I had the university I was studying at wanted to use them for just the slideshows they give on lectures.
Really?
And a couple other institutes messaged me saying, "Can we use these?" I'm like, "Yeah, have them. If it's used for teaching, by all means."
That's cool. So they're presenting, PowerPoint presentation to dental students using your pictures?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because obviously I'm only live maybe 40 minutes away from the university I study at. I framed some up and we put them up in the CAD suite, bring some life to it.
These would actually even be cool in dental offices. You got to get this word out to even dentists.
Yeah, that's it. I started doing stuff like the development of caries, for instance, aimed at that sort of clinical side of it. For you could put it up in your waiting room, just like you said.
You're drawing cavities?
Yeah, yeah, like a cross-sectional view.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually posted.
You haven't. I'm looking for it. I want to see it.
How do you draw a cavity? How do you even visualize a cavity?
I said I spend so much time looking at how other people portray them and how people have documented it in like past things, and then I think how can I make it clearer to someone who doesn't know and what happens to your tooth as it starts to decay.
I bet you it'd be cool to do a beginning when you start getting cavities, and as it gets worse and worse and worse, and then you end with
exactly what I've done.
Yeah, then you end with a denture.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll take it down. I'm writing that down.
There's your new idea, Elvis doll.
There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. I'll sign your name at the bottom.
No, please don't.
So what do your parents say about this newfound drawing and printing and all of that? They're probably like, wow, who is this guy?
Yeah, they love it because they're all art and design background as well.
Exactly.
So they're happy I'm pushing in that direction.
Goes really well with the whole family.
Nothing but support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they are all into it since your whole family is graphic design, and that's basically what you did. You turned dental art into graphic design.
I have just sent you a picture of that development of caries on LinkedIn.
Oh, well, nice. Hold on.
If you want to share it about.
I will post this when we post this episode.
Do it.
Oh, I got it. Oh, yeah, exactly what I was talking about. Without the denture. I love it.
Yeah, without the best bit.
That is super cool. So, when is this going to be available in America? Because I totally want to get some prints.
So over probably late August, I'm hoping to have everything sorted out. Everything's so busy at the minute.
How do you sort it out? Like, what do you got to do?
So I'm going to be just finding. I need to get a couple of test prints from a few websites and see what gives the best quality at the best price point. And then I'll just be uploading the prints, and then they'll all be outsourced and they'll ship straight from the website.
Yeah, I was telling them, Barb, before we started, basically how we do t-shirts. So instead of us having to hold inventory or go to the post office and do all that stuff, just get a company to do it for you. Streamline it.
So you had to find a company in the United States that you could work with so that you could ship from here.
I'm hoping I can find one that would just ship internationally.
This might like freaking take off, man. You're going to make millions of dollars. Seriously.
We'll have to see.
I'm not seeing this cool art with the color, and I really think the color is what makes the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the main thing that drew me to it, was how bright and bold they could be.
Yeah.
It's also why my dad hated printing them.
It's a lot of color.
Solid block color. Went through a lot of ink.
I bet.
Well, I think in dental labs, you should have dental art. And in dental offices, I mean, you go to the dentist and they've got pictures of, these beautiful smiles and all of that. But in the dental lab, like, we should have pictures of morphology and really cool anatomy and just everything that you're doing. Like, I can see where dental labs in the US would purchase a ton of this.
Yeah, the teaching side of it's been pretty invaluable because we've been onboarding a lot of staff in the lab, and just having I can give them a printout of how teeth are described to someone that has no previous knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And then they can just stick it up next to them, and then they've got all the information they need.
So you always have a reference point, and it's right in front of you, and it's like, it is kind of like PTC, Elvis. You're right, but it's kind of better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, pops, I guess.
Yeah.
What have you not done in art that you're looking to get into? Like bars? Are we going to see some bar art?
Yeah, that's it. I've had one of my lecturers say, like you said, I should do dentures. I think ortho appliances would look quite nice because there'd be a lot of metal work on there, which I love doing that.
Hopefully a little bit easier for you than actual ortho
work. Yeah, I don't have to bend it myself.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to study it to be able to draw it. So like, it's just it's something else that you've got to learn to put it on paper.
Yeah, definitely.
Or on the iPad.
I love.
And you know our industry, you better do it right too. The last thing you want to do is the wrong ortho wire bend, and you won't hear the end of it.
Get the wrong thickness gauge wire on there. Get crucified online. I said I've been back and forth. I tried to do one with ideal intercuspal positioning.
Yeah.
And I didn't post them because I just wasn't sure. I couldn't find any documentation verifying what I'd done.
You better find a nice ortho tech that will look at it and give you critique nicely.
I'll ship it out to our group.
So I also noticed when I dive deep into your Instagram, what's up with these animal heads?
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. These are kind of cool.
They were just a sort of a side thing I was doing on the weekend, just messing around when I first started working in the lab.
I mean, you love this kind of stuff if you're doing all this stuff on the side.
Yeah, I used it as a way to just practice making something natural, surface texture. That's been invaluable in the lab. Just making something look realistic from that standpoint.
That's what we're doing.
But how the hell do you draw an animal head?
Yeah.
So it's just I'd have a load of reference images on my second monitor, and I'd freeform it from a sphere straight out of the design software.
And what software is that? Because we're all used to, Exocad, 3Shape, blah blah. What are you using?
That was done in it was an old bit of software. I couldn't put too much detail on as why they're all heads.
Yeah.
Because they would crash, but it was Sculptress. So I think it predated another bit of software. I want to say it might be Blender, but I'm not entirely sure.
We've heard of that.
And literally, you start with a sphere and just pull it and shape it. That's cool.
Inflating, pinching.
See, that's neat.
You should record yourself doing that.
I do. I think I have a couple of time lapses.
Yeah, I see one where the duck head is moving around. Yeah, the duck head is the only one I see moving. But I mean, we're so used to designing teeth from a template of a tooth, So I think everybody should design teeth from a sphere. Just think how much more you'd have to.
I think that sounds hard as hell.
It does, but just think how much you learn.
It's good fun. Yeah. I've done it when we're quiet. I think I do have a time lapse on my Instagram near the top of I freeformed. I think it was a lower second premolar, second molar, just from a minimum thickness coping.
Oh wow! Talk about learning how to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you so good, is that you learned the hard way. Makes you even better.
Exactly. That's it. Diamonds.
We're giving you a whole lot of compliments. I don't know.
I love it all.
Podcast, your head's gonna explode.
I think it's so cool. I love it when people in our industry just go that extra step to do the extra thing, and even if it's not tooth related, like an animal head, I find it just neat.
I said if it feeds back into my work and makes it better, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, how could it not make it better? I mean, I bet you're pretty fast on design these days.
Yeah, maybe a couple minutes at most per crown.
Yeah.
Well, I really like that your company supports you and that your company's all in and they
Yeah,
support you in your drawings and the art. And I mean, I think that just goes to show that, it's an amazing company to work for.
yeah. Everyone there has been amazing. They've all supported me from the start. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, the art you must do with a stylus, right?
I do, yeah. I've got an Apple Pen. Yeah, I couldn't do it with
Do you use
my
an
hands.
Apple Pen when you design on Exocad? Because there's a few people that do that.
They do, yeah. I played around with it and it slowed me down, so I didn't like it.
Interesting.
I learned by the mouse and keyboard, so
Yeah.
I've stuck with it. I tried getting a 3D space mouse, and again, it threw me off too much.
Yeah. Do you think if you with enough practice you could get better with it, or?
Yeah, so I've spoke to technicians and they say it changed their lives.
Yeah, so have
So there's
we.
definitely some application for it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of get it really close with the mouse and then go in with the pen
Hmm.
and really add that
Fine
extra.
tune it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of
Yeah,
it at
that's
all.
interesting.
What rock am I under?
We talked to a lot of people in Spain that use that pen because it really gives you the feel of it.
That's Exocad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember now. I was a little worried about myself. Okay.
It was Spain. It's okay.
Yep, I remember now. Okay.
How was it there? I'd love to go.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they'll send you
They
to
always
3-year
look like good
school,
fun.
they should send you to Spain in 2026. I think it goes back. So
I hope they're listening.
yeah, there you go.
You're not that far away. So what's it like working with Exocad? And you really know the system well and the workarounds and everything? Have you tried 3Shape and you can reference the difference?
I have never used it apart from a couple times, and it felt clunkier. I don't know if that's just because I've used Exocad from the start, and like you said, I know it inside out. I could bodge anything with it.
We've heard that it's pretty amazing and that it's the ease of use and being able to figure things out is just so seamless.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say it was definitely the go-to.
You should get a hold of Exocad. They should be promoting you too. Just
There
saying.
you go.
Hey, if they're listening, I'm
There
in.
you go. That's how it works.
I know they are.
Have you ever thought about taking the teeth you draw in your art and making it a library so it looks like that? I don't want to say cartoonish, but you know what I mean? That thicker black
Like
line.
block shape.
Yeah. That would be a cool library to have in Exocad, even though functionally nobody would want it in their mouth probably. But it would be neat to be able to use that in Exocad.
Yeah, have a little demo model for it.
There's another idea.
We're on to something today, you guys.
Yeah, keep
Seriously.
throwing them at me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not that you don't have enough free time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much, man. This is some cool stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been nice to be on.
Wait. Yep.
I'm excited that you're going to get this to worldwide distribution probably well before this thing airs. So once you get that link, make sure that I get it. So when we release this, we can let everybody know where you can get these prints that I think is going to look cool. And I mean, all of our listeners are teeth nerds, so we're going to want them in houses and in our labs and everywhere. So
I'm going to let my lab know about the site. I think it would just be a really cool gift to give technicians. I mean, seriously, I think it's remarkable. And I'm not kidding either. I can't wait till you launch it here.
Yeah, it should be hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like you said, definitely by the time this comes out.
Yeah. And thoughts of t-shirts? Our industry loves a good t-shirt with a tooth on it. I'm just saying, Charlie.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, that everything's individual assets in the designs, so I can pull anything from that and put on a t-shirt. I've just doing a collaboration with a charity called Dentech.
Yeah, we know them. Yeah.
We're I've transferred a couple designs for them. I think we're going to be launching that soon. I think they just got back from their Uganda trip.
Yeah.
So we'll be moving forward with that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, good for you. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm just so psyched to see what you can do in the future. And congratulations on your university degree and everything else that you're going to be doing.
Thank you. We push forward and up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Charlie. And again, let us know when that link's live, and we'll let the world know.
I'll get it over. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Cheers. I love it. I love it.
I'm so glad I didn't stop the recording for that.
Oh, so good.
A huge thanks to Charlie for coming on our podcast. What a great story of getting into a lab and then still having the passion to go back to school. Congratulations on your recent graduation, by the way. Listen, let's all help make Charlie famous for his amazing dental art. Go to cimbdesign.redbubble.com. Or you can go to this episode's show notes to go to an online store where you can purchase his art. And remember, it ships internationally. I think these would look really amazing in my lab or any lab. Thanks again, Charlie.
And also remember, if you want some of his art on a shirt, this is the last week to get the Don't Pull Out shirt.
Yeah, baby. Don't forget and don't cry if you don't get it.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you. Safe travels home, Barb, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye. Still weirds me out, man. The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.